Good morning, Bernard.
Good morning, Dr. Priscilla.
And how are you?
I'm I'm going well. I'm ready to discuss about the film Black
Okay.
Panther.
And you're doing well. I'm doing well.
I'm doing well.
Okay, fantastic. So today we are going to read from Breaking News English. Black Panther movie breaks box office records. All right, could you start to read for me?
Yes. The new superhero movie Black Panther is breaking box office records. It's the highest money-making
Debut.
debut. It's the highest money-making debut ever from a February film. Disney, the movie's maker, estimated that the film has earned over $361 million a day in 3 days. The opening was the fifth highest earning film ever. The movie has been helped by great reviews from critics.
Helped.
The movie has been helped by great reviews from critics.
Mm-hmm.
The movie review site Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 98% rating.
97.
97% rating. It's very rare for any movie to get such a high score. The Los Angeles Times newspaper compared Black Panther to a Star Wars movie. It said, Black Panther fever took over Los Angeles. It added, the film opened to the kind of fervor typically reserved for the latest offering in the Star Wars franchise.
The latest
offering Black Panther is the first Marvel superhero movie with an African American in the title role. It also has a largely black cast and is directed by a black man. Many people of African descent have been showing their pride in the movie by attending movie theaters dressed in traditional African clothes. CNN writer Juan Jones said the film was very important. He said, this film is a godsend that will lift the self-esteem of black children in the US and around the world for a long time. A 7th grade student who watched the film said, for people of color, it shows us that we can get through any obstacles that are thrown at us if we work together. We can also help the world by sharing our resources.
Okay, very good. A few missteps with your reading today. Latest, some of the words starting with H, I think, highest.
Highest.
And earned, your ED words, earned. Okay. Now, do you think children need superheroes?
Oh, I suppose it's important for children when they are very young, very young, to have a beautiful image of someone, of some people, and the superheroes are good for their education, to improving their taste for the beautiful and the good. No?
Okay, well, I think it's good for the imagination.
Yes, good for the imagination.
Good for their imagination. Instead of thinking of something evil and dangerous, it's good to have a superhero that is for the good, I think. As we look at these words down below in the chat section, could you pronounce all of those words for me?
superhero,
Mhm.
money making, debut, million, critics, review, rare, favor, franchise, movie,
Franchise. Franchise.
franchise,
Mhm.
movie, role, cast, descent, pride, godsend, self-esteem, obstacles, resources.
Do you know what all of these words?
No, godsend.
Godsend is something that is good, almost heavenly. It's a godsend. It's a gift. It's something
Okay,
that we've been waiting for, and finally it has arrived.
okay.
Let's look over at the synonym matches. And what about fervor? Fever. Fever.
Oh, I don't know, fever. When you're ill, perhaps. When you're
Well,
ill, you have a high temperature, it's fever.
yes, when you have a high temperature, it's a fever. But what they're saying now is that we are so excited about this that it's like so contagious that just as like a fever goes from one person to another to make them ill or they catch this sickness, the fever associated with the movie is very strong, very high.
Okay,
And
okay.
the descent is presentable, nice, appropriate.
Yes.
All
We
right.
have nearly the same word in French, descent.
Okay. Let's look at the words 1 through 10 and
Okay.
pronounce those for me.
Breaking, debut, hunt, rating, fever, roll, largely, descent, godsend, obstacles,
Yes, and this word is debut. The,
debut.
the T is silent. And debut means the first appearance. It's when you come out and show something for the first time.
Yes, it's exactly the same word in the same spelling in French, début.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so now as we have our discussion, I'd like for you to try to use these words here as we talk. So have you ever gone to a movie that had its first showing or debut? Have you ever gone to such a movie on the first day that it shows, which would be the debut?
Oh, when a movie
Mhm.
just came in the theater, no, no, I didn't.
Okay, and try to use some of these words as you're talking about this in your response. What I found about what I found out or understood about this movie is that many people of color, African Americans especially, consider this movie to be a godsend because there are so few superheroes that represent people of color. Do you have any thoughts on that?
It was a question?
Yeah, do you have any thoughts on that? I was just saying that many people of color, especially African Americans, felt that this movie is a godsend because there are so few role models, perhaps, for African Americans or people of color. What are your thoughts about that?
Oh, I think it's right, but it's something we change in these nowadays. But I'm sure that it's real. I remember that for a long time, there were few people of color in great movie. But I remember one man who was famous, who was Sidney Poitier. Do you remember of this man?
Yes. Yes, I do. Sidney Poitier.
Yes, who was a good actor. But I suppose things change now. For example, in France, we have a new superhero who's called, oh my God, I, I forgotten his name.
Mhm.
He played in a big movie
And
about
try
the
to
leader.
try to use some of the vocabulary words as well.
Okay, okay. Um, no idea. The role,
Mhm.
the role that are used in movies
Mm-hmm.
are sometimes uh, played by African Americans or people of color
Mm-hmm.
more and more often
No,
because
this is true.
because the rating of people in the world seems to prove that there are 70% of colored people and only 33% of white people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's largely important that the things change and the representation of the people in the movies is more balanced.
Okay. So what you're saying is if we look at the population of people, it only makes better sense to have people of color in roles that are appropriate for any race. Because a person is of color doesn't mean that they can't be, say, a superhero, because it doesn't matter what the person is if they can play the role in a decent manner. So I think that we have demonstrated, as a person of color myself, we've earned the right to be in movies that are breaking records, and a lot of the obstacles are now being removed so that as we take on these different roles, largely money producing roles, our ratings for the theater is high. We bring money into the theater. So this fever that they speak about is well deserved.
Okay. Oh, I need the recording. Yes, I need the recording in the translation. But I heard about the meaning. It's a new film, Black Panther.
Yes, it's a movie. It just came out, I think, 2 days ago.
Okay,
It's a movie. It's not a regular series, but of
okay,
course, the superheroes are for weekly programs, and maybe this one will uh, come to be a weekly program. We just don't know. But either way, it is a godsend. Okay,
okay,
so there we are we struggled a little bit with the words, the vocabulary words, but that's okay.
okay.
Let's choose a couple of sentences and discuss those. Um, do you think we should go to movie theaters dressed as characters, or should we go in our regular clothes, or does it even matter?
Should we all go to movie theater dressed up? It means when you're wearing good clothes, nice clothes.
Well, in this case, I'm thinking of this movie. They say that a lot of the people came dressed as a character in the movie. Do you think that that's a good
Yes,
idea?
yes, I understand. For example, if you go to see a film of Star Wars, you go to see the film dressed in aliens, for example.
Yes, you dress.
Okay,
Do you think that that's a good idea or no?
but it's unusual. Perhaps it could be interesting for the debut of a movie,
Very good. Mhm.
but not in general. If I'm going to see the theaters, these guys in Superman,
Mhm.
surely it will be strange for the other people.
Okay. And I think we show a sign of support of the movie when we dress up in costume
Mm.
for the film. And I probably would agree if it's 6 months old. I don't know that I would actually try to dress as a character in the movie. I would just go in my casual clothes and perhaps be comfortable.
Mm.
All right, I will stop the recording.